Welcome to the next episode of Snyder Brothers Cook. Tonight we're going to be doing smoked barbecue chicken with chicken from Joyce Farms, courtesy of our friends at
Smoke City Meats in Winston-Salem.
They've been a great resource for us. We're also going to be doing an Edisto tomato pie and finishing it up with Brad's Texas creamy coleslaw. So we're going to start with Lon prepping our beautiful chickens here.
So Lon, we're going to basically just spatchcock these chickens just so we can lay them flat, so we can baste them as we smoke them. So we're just basically going to take the spine out of each chicken. So this chicken right here is what Joyce Farms refers to as the naked chicken. And the other one is a French red chicken.
Welcome back. So Lon has these chickens nicely prepped. You'll notice, how flat they are. They got a great surface area for the grill and for the smoke. You kind of break that, the breastbone, get the breast flattened out, get the thighs up, the legs on top. And what we're going to use while we're smoking these is Spellbound Rub from Lane's Barbecue in Bethlehem, Georgia. You guys know that these guys produce great rubs, and we're huge fans. So what I'm going to do is just give them, a nice liberal coating, and we'll do both sides. So I'll just kind of start on top. It's really hard to use too much on chicken. Get them going, and then maybe get Lon to kind of rub that in a little bit and get them flipped over, and then we'll work on the other side. So as he's doing that, we're going to smoke these kind of low and slow for the first 2 hours, and then we'll raise the temperature. And then when we do raise the temp, we're going to start basting these with some chicken sauce. So this is from our friend Tommy Brown, who makes this and does a lot of smoking at his outdoor pit area. So we'll be using that to finish these chickens with. We're going to get these prepped up, and then we'll meet you out at the grill to get them started. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take these chickens. We've got the smoker set about 225 with hardwood pellets. We're going to put them on skin side up and just kind of get them set up there and let these go until we get them up to temp, and we'll probably start basting them about 30 minutes from now, and we'll baste them every 10 minutes with the vinegar barbecue rub.
All right, so we're going to move on to our Edisto tomato pie. So what I'm doing right now is I've just taken a pre-made pie crust, and we're putting it into our pie plate, slightly oiled. We're going to go ahead and pre-bake that at 375 degrees for about 10 minutes. And really what that does is just seals the crust together so that when we put our tomatoes and our filling in, it doesn't get quite as
just all moist and like soggy.
Yeah. So we're going to get this popped into the oven. What I normally do is I'll just take a fork and just put a few holes in the bottom just to keep it from kind of bubbling up. You can use like pie weights. We're not cooking this all the way through. We're just going to do it for about 10 minutes. So we'll get this into a preheated 375 degree oven, and then we'll be back, and Lon's going to show you how we're going to prep the tomatoes. All right, back in a minute.
All right, we got these tomatoes. We're going to blanch them for about 5 or 10 seconds. Then we're going to thickly slice them. We're going to lay them out on a paper towel, lightly salt them, let them drain for about 20 minutes, and they'll be ready to go into the pie. All right, so we blanched these for about 10 seconds. As you can see, just peel the skin right off. And then we'll take these and cut them up into thick slices and Put them on the paper towel with a little salt, like I said, and let them set for about 20 minutes.
All right, while Lon's finishing cutting those up, we're going to go ahead and lay these out on our paper towel to get some of the moisture out of. It just makes a better pie, not quite as wet. These tomatoes I got earlier today from local Hawks Produce. So these are all German pink tomatoes. They've started coming in locally here in North Carolina, and they look good. They're probably not the best tomatoes we will see this summer. It's been really wet, but they've been great so far. So we're going to get these seasoned up a little bit and get them drying, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, welcome back. We're going to get started with our Texas slaw. So backstory on this is a guy that I duck hunt with who used to live outside of Austin taught me this recipe probably over 10 years ago, and it has just been a staple for when we cook. It's so easy. We just start with some rough cut cabbage that Lon prepped a little earlier. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of raw sugar. So we go ahead and put that in. And then we're going to go with 3 tablespoons of our apple cider vinegar. You can adjust that. If you like a little tang, 3, a little less. Some people will go with 2. We'll shoot for somewhere kind of in the middle.
We like the tang.
Like it, apple cider vinegar. Then we're going to go for about a teaspoon of yellow mustard. So just kind of give a little squirt of yellow mustard in there. And then we're going to go for 3 tablespoons of mayo. If you don't know from watching us before, Duke's is the mayo of choice. It's just, from a cooking standpoint, it's absolutely amazing. Now, the big variable is how much cayenne pepper you like. So I think the recipe really calls for just a dash. You can go as much as you want. Some people leave it out completely if you don't like the spice. I think a small amount of cayenne really brings out flavor. It's not about heat. Obviously, the more you put in, the more heat you get. So we just kind of give it a little light dusting, over the top, and we'll stop right there. And that really just gives it a little bit of a smoky, just adds to that kind of great savory flavor of the vinegar and the mayo.
Yeah, not being a heat person, it does kind of give it a little bit toward the end.
Yeah,
which is good.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get this mixed up and popped it in the fridge, usually for about 20 minutes or so, and let everything kind of start to work together. And we'll be back in a minute, and we'll assemble our tomato pie.
All right, we're gonna check these chickens, kind of just get a temp on, and so we know, start basting them. We're about 112, 115. So we're gonna start basting these, turn the heat up just a little bit, and we'll baste them every 10 minutes with some vinegar-based barbecue sauce until they're finished.
What temperature are we looking for?
We're looking for about 170 to 180, and then we'll let them rest and they'll come on up to temp.
Right, so we've got our mop sauce and our mop, and we're just going to start kind of just getting this all over the chickens. And it's just going to kind of get down in all the little nooks and crannies. It's going to look really good. We're going to leave the sauce on the smoker just so it'll get hot, and that'll help penetrate a little bit better. So once we get this side done, we'll let it go for about 10 minutes, and then we'll probably flip the chickens over and get the other side, hit them again. So we'll put the mop. We don't need to smoke the mop, so we'll keep the mop out. All right, there they go. Okay, so now we're going to finish the prep on our tomato pie. So our tomatoes have been drying out for probably about half an hour now, and so we're just going to take our individual slices. We pre-baked our crust. Our pie shell or pie plate's a little bigger than our pie shell was, so it shrunk down a little bit, but it's all going to work out great. So we're just kind of layering our tomatoes around, on the inside. Try to get good coverage there. And once we get all those in, then we're going to hit them with some SPG salt, pepper, garlic blend. You'll see that. Just get a nice layer on the tomatoes. Once we get that on, then I'm also going to add some basil. We didn't have any fresh basil. We had some of this dehydrated basil, which really works great. You can keep it in the fridge for, I mean, really a couple of weeks once it's open. We'll add a little basil, get that in there. We're gonna add our next layer of tomatoes. Once all the tomatoes go in, we're going to add a little bit more of our salt, pepper, garlic. And then we're going to top this with a mixture of about 3/4 cup of mayonnaise and 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese. So hit this with our salt, pepper, garlic again. Not overdoing it. It's got some nice granulated garlic, a little salt, a little pepper. Get that in there. A little bit more of our basil, tomatoes, cheese. What could be better than that, right? Okay, and then I've got our mayo cheese mixture already together. And we're just gonna put that right on top. If I can get it out of here. And this is going to go in a 350-degree oven for about 35 minutes. So I'll be back in just a minute once I get this assembled, and we'll go back in the oven. Okay, so we have our topping on. I'm just going to add a little bit extra cheese right on top because that'll brown up really nicely. And then we're just going to take it over and we're going to get it in our 350-degree oven, kind of middle rack there. And we're going to set our timer for 35 minutes and get started. All right, back in the
All right, so we basted these once. We're going to flip them over and baste the underside of them a couple times, and then flip them back over and basically just do the top side until they're finished. So we kind of turn the temp up to about 350, 375 on the smoker. And then we'll just let these set on this side for about 5-10 minutes, flip them back over, baste them again, flip them back over, and then just keep hitting them until they're done.
Okay, so we're back. The tomato pie's been going for about 35, actually 40 minutes. I hit the broil at the end just to get the top nice and brown, so we're pulling that out. And we're gonna let that rest for at least 10 minutes or so. You can get a shot of that, Webb. Looks good. So that's going to rest and kind of come together, and we're gonna pull the chicken and then we'll get the meal ready.
All right, we're gonna pull these chickens off, let them rest for a little bit. So that's the base of the naked chicken. This is the French red chicken. Gonna let them rest for a bit, and then we'll probably have them up, serve them up.
All right, thanks for joining us for another episode of Snyder Brothers Cook. We've got our smoked barbecue chicken with Tommy's barbecue sauce.
We got our Edisto tomato pie and our creamy Texas slaw.
So we're gonna plate everything up and dig in. Hope you guys have enjoyed another episode. Please subscribe and like our channel.
And have a great evening.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.